are mine now. You belong to me. Today we're going to play a new fun game.
Hello and welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast. My name is Dan.
My name's Nicole.
And this is episode 71. It's another Picks episode. We're going to be picking our prison movies for next week. We're going to pick two and we're going to review them in the next episode. So this episode is prison themed. It's a shame that we can't pick our prison films and then watch them in Pentridge Prison. I wish we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, I could take my tablet and just watch it there, just sit on the lawn and watch it.
I watched the films near a prison.
Yeah.
We could do that. So prison movies, my idea. So next week, my topic intro again. As it was my choice of theme, I am going to go first. So I'm going to give you my three. So are you ready?
I've already got my pen and paper.
Oh, nice. I've got a squeaky chair again. I've just realised. Still haven't greased it up. So choice number one for prison movies. Mm-hmm. Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. Number two, Bronson.
Okay.
And number three is Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a variety there, mate. So what have you got for me?
My first pick is I Love You, Phil Morris. Next pick is The Green Mile.
Yep.
And the last pick is Escape from Alcatraz.
Okay. Well, listen, first round, we can't ask any questions. We've just got to knock one out. I know exactly what I'm going to knock out of yours. I'm going to knock out The Green Mile. And the reason I'm knocking it out is because
it's a Tom Hanks film.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even put that together, actually. Yeah, also that. I love Tom Hanks, but we've done a few Tom Hanks films now, so let's put Tom Hanks on the shelf for a bit. But the other reason is it was quite long from what I remember, and that's the main reason I'm knocking it out. It's quite long.
I've got no idea what any of your films are. I'm gonna say a title, and you're just gonna be like, "Bad decision, Nicole." All right, I'm just gonna telepathically, come on, Dan, tell me what I should be getting rid of. Look at me in the eye. Look at me in the eye.
I'm trying to buzz you my thoughts. Knock that out. Knock that one out. Knock that one out. Keep that one.
Bronson.
You're going to knock out Bronson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the one you were thinking?
That's okay with me.
No.
You're going to knock out Bronson. Okay, fine. That's not no more information. You're knocking out Bronson. Fair enough. Okay. So, to recap then, what we're left with is Sympathy for Lady Vengeance and Stir Crazy in my list, and what remains in your list is I Love You, Philip Morris, and Escape from the Alcatraz. Escape from Alcatraz has got Clint Eastwood in it. So it could potentially do two Clint Eastwood films in a row, which I'd never expected we'd ever do in a million years, but it's potential. Okay, so I'm going to give you some information on Sympathy. I'm getting too excited.
Sympathy.
Let's wind it down a few gears and just go back into relaxed local radio DJ mode. So I chose Sympathy for Lady Vengeance for you, Nicole. It was directed by Park Chan-wook. It's 115 minutes long and it came out in 2005. It's part of a group of films called the Vengeance Trilogy, and it's a Korean film. Would you like to... I'm tired of doing this. Relaxed local radio DJ. The tagline for this, so as I said, it's a Korean film, it's a prison film, 2005. The tagline is, all she wanted was a peaceful life, they didn't give it. The synopsis, after a 13-year imprisonment for the kidnap and murder of a 6-year-old boy, beautiful Lee Guem-ja starts seeking revenge on the man that was really responsible for the boy's death. With the help of fellow inmates and reunited with her daughter, she gets closer and closer to her goal. But will her actions lead to the relief she seeks? And that's Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. I had not heard of this until I started doing my research for prison movies. And it's got good ratings, and I mentioned it to Sarah when I was trying to think of films to choose for this, and she went, oh yeah, good one. That's a really good one. So that went into my number one spot. My next pick was Stir Crazy, which came out in 1980. So 4 years before I was born, and it was directed by Sidney Poitier, and it's 111 minutes long. The synopsis reads, two jailbirds who just want out of the cage. The synopsis reads, New Yorkers, Skip Donahue and Harry Monroe, have no jobs and no prospects, so they decide to flee the city and find work elsewhere, landing jobs wearing woodpecker costumes to promote the opening of a bank. When their feathery costumes are stolen and used in a bank robbery, they no longer have to worry about employment. They're sent to prison. So it's a comedy. It's got Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, couple of all-time comedy legend greats. I quite enjoyed this when I was a young boy. It's pretty funny. I've seen it a couple of years ago, and for the most part, it holds up pretty well. So I just really wanted to mix up the genres a little bit. I had two fairly serious films in there, and I just wanted a bit of a silly one. So that was my silly choice, mate. So there you go. So Sympathy for Lady Vengeance and Stir Crazy, my two choices. Any questions, or do you want to tell me more about yours?
I'll tell you a bit about my films.
All right.
I Love You, Philip Morris. You told me about this film a while back. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks kind of funny and interesting. It came out in 2009, directed by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa. The tagline is "The con man who couldn't go straight." And the synopsis is Steve Russell is a small town cop. Bored with his bland lifestyle, Russell turns to a fraud as a means of shaking things up. Before long, Russell's criminal antics have landed him behind bars. When he encounters the charismatic Philip Morris, smitten, Russell devotes his entire life to being with Morris regardless of the consequences.
So Jim Carrey,
You've seen this.
Ewan McGregor. Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah.
Really, really good film. I've got a lot of time for this film. So what about Escape from Alcatraz?
Oh, it came out in 1979, directed by Don Siegel, and the tagline is "No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz. No one ever will." And the synopsis is San Francisco's Bay, January 18, 1960, Frank Lee Morris, another Morris, transfers to Alcatraz, a maximum security prison located on a rocky island. Although no one has ever managed to escape from there, Frank and his other inmates begin to carefully prepare for an escape plan. And as you said before, Clint Eastwood is it?
Yeah. Oh, Clinto.
Old Clint.
Clinterson.
He's actually featuring it. He's in front of the camera, not behind the camera.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. I don't really have any questions for you, to be honest. And the main reason I don't have questions for you is because I know which way I'm going. I knew the second you read out all three, so I'm not going to hang it out. I really, really like I Love You, Philip Morris. It's a really good film, and I'd recommend anyone see it. But it's not. Prison is featured quite heavily in it, but it's not really about prison. It's Jim Carrey's character does go to prison in it. Spoilers, but it's more about him and his struggles. Escape from Alcatraz is a prison film. I nearly picked it as one of my three, so I'm going to pick Escape from Alcatraz and knock out I Love You, Philip Morris.
Cool.
So what are you thinking? Which way are you leaning on mine then?
I just had to look at the poster out of the two films, and I knew exactly what I was going to choose.
Yeah.
And it was Sympathy for Lady Vengeance.
So the poster of Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor dressed as woodpeckers on the cover of Stir Crazy didn't do it for you then?
No.
Oh, really. I'm so happy.
I mean, you knocked out my comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was like, you knocked out my comedy, so I'm going to knock out yours.
This is the one I wanted to see, because the second I found it, I was like, oh, fuck, I really want to watch this. This looks great. So I picked it, and then I'll be honest with you, it was a little bit of strategy on my part. I picked Stir Crazy because I was hoping you wasn't going to choose it. I was hoping you was going to knock it out. And Bronson, I was curious on rewatching it. So awesome. So for the next episode, then, for our prison movies theme, we're going to be watching Sympathy for Lady Vengeance and Escape from Alcatraz. We finally managed to get a Korean film on. We've been wanting to do that for a while, so that's good
Yeah.
news. I've got a few others that I was considering. The first one was a bit of a joke, really, but it was Ernest Goes to Jail. I was considering picking that so that you knocked it out, but I couldn't find it anywhere on streaming. Also, The Hurricane. I really enjoy The Hurricane with Denzel Washington, but I couldn't find that anywhere on streaming. Prison, which is a 1987 film, which was recommended by Radio Gore Press, but again, it's not available.
Mm.
The Stanford Prison Experiment, which I recently watched, and that was quite good. Lock Up with Sylvester Stallone. Death Warrant with Jean-Claude Van Damme. A couple of silly action film prison movies, which
Good old Van
I might try
Damme.
and watch them for the next episode. Yeah, good old JCVD. Escape from Alcatraz, which I mentioned, which you picked, so I'm really happy about that. Midnight Express
Oh,
and The Shawshank Redemption. Those were the other ones I was sort of
wow.
thinking about putting on the list. But if you want to see anything we picked, you can go on Letterboxd and see all the ones we've spoken about. And whatever you're going to mention, have you got any others that you were considering putting on then?
Yeah, I do. I'm surprised that you hadn't mentioned
Ooh.
the 3 that I had on my list.
Okay.
I had American History. Did you say American History?
American History
I don't think you
X
did.
with Ed Norton and
Yeah.
Edward Furlong. No, I didn't
That's
say
right.
it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty heavy, mate. It's pretty. I would say that's
Yeah.
definitely in the top 3 films that like images I can't shake from my brain.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Because it
Worth
was
watching.
initially going to be on the list. Another choice I had was Cube.
Oh, shit the bed. I would have
heard-
definitely chosen Cube if you put it on your list. Yeah. I've forgotten about Cube. Great film. Oh, you just remind me of another one. I should have put Fortress on there. That's what I was thinking about putting on. But
I was thinking Platform, which is a Spanish film. Yeah.
oh yeah. Yeah.
But I've seen that
Platform.
before. I didn't completely love it. And
Okay.
like, if you had it on your list, I probably would have knocked it out instantly. I mean, what it's all about is really interesting, but yeah. And then the last one I had was the one Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was on
That's
my...
one I've been meaning to revisit for a while. Yeah.
It's up. I watched it for the first time last year. It wasn't too bad. I liked it.
Yeah, I've seen it just the once, about 10 years ago, and I really, really liked it, and it's time for a revisit, I think, on that one. But interesting, yeah, so if you want to check out any of the films we mentioned in this episode, as we've started doing, is creating letterbox lists with all of the theme films we talk about. So last one, Office Space Movies, there's a list with all of the Office Space films that we mentioned and some we didn't. We'll do the same with this one with prison-based movies. So that'll be on my Letterboxd at flick.face. If you want to catch up with the show, you can do on Instagram at TwinPixPod. If you want to catch up with me, I'm flick.face on Instagram. If you want to support the show, you can do it at Ko-fi.com. If you want to email us and reach out to us, you can do it at twinpixpod@gmail.com. What about you, friend?
You can find me on Instagram at Chikanika or Nika Creative.
Awesome. So thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week to our prison-based movies episode where we're going to be discussing Sympathy for Lady Vengeance and Escape from Alcatraz. So we will see you then. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye, boy.
Bye.